think you'd call it colourful language, Nadia?
Yes, I think that I should actually admit that I have a special interest here, so before I actually give you my opinion, because I do actually have a secret crush on Boris. so it's very embarrassing, and I hope my husband is not watching, but I have got a crush on him, as I think a lot of the country seem to. And strangely, if somebody had told me this story and said a politician had done this, and I was like, that's a disgrace. You can't be a politician and be swearing and screaming and shouting. But for me, it's Boris, and for me, Boris can do anything. I'm a bit disappointed he didn't try and do it in Latin, though, because I love it when he speaks Latin. Now, I don't know what this means, but it's something... Or Turkish. It's something Latinish. F et muratare, I think he should have said.
Really? Don't repeat it in case that's not the right...
Go down the shops. But, I like to think that
Egg and chips to you.
To what he was saying. I don't know what is about Boris.
Well,
I've got a thing about him.
I've got a secret crush.
Have you?
Yeah, I think he's lovely. And do you know all I want to do when I see him? He just looks so vulnerable, and I just want to take him home and blow dry his hair and just stroke him and a kiss and a cuddle, you know.
So do you forgive him his appalling language?
Well, no, I do forgive him because it's Boris, and let's face it, would David Cameron do that? No, of course.
I have to say he's local to me, so I see Boris quite a lot, and he's always on his bike and that, and I'm a big fan of his. But what I do understand is what's going on with the taxis and the Ubers and everything, because I'm a big taxi fan. I mean, they've done their knowledge, you know, like they've earned to be a taxi driver. The Ubers have got no knowledge, they've not qualified, they've got no licences or anything. So I can understand why the taxi drivers are getting upset with him. And also, it'd probably been a very long day. It was 12 o'clock at night, and he, you know, was on his way home. So I understand why he did.
And how many other people had shouted at him that day?
Probably quite a few taxi drivers.
What I get about Boris, and I think why so many people do like Boris, whatever their politics are, is because there's something that's really authentic about him. And I don't know how many other politicians that I think that we really feel that way about. He puts his foot in it all the time.
It's his hair, isn't it? I mean, it is, isn't it? You know, because I think I kind of trust him because he's kind of normal, because he always looks like he's just got out of bed. And it's definitely his hair. I mean, I used to, before the Lanesborough was being done up, I used to spend quite a bit of time in the Lanesborough, and so did he. He frequented the Lanesborough quite a lot. So we'd pass each other in the corridor walking down to the bar or the restaurant, and it'd been, hello, hello, you know. And I always then just wanted to run after him with a hairbrush. You know?
No, I agree with you. I think part of it is because he is real, and you don't feel like he's doing anything for a PR stunt. You know, there are certain other politicians who've been known to cycle with a car following behind with all their stuff in it, whereas he genuinely is out and about.